I will ask this question from Chris Freed from Philadelphia, and whoever wants to take this on stage. From raw material purchases by Berkshire subsidiaries, are you seeing signs of inflation beginning to increase?
Let me answer that. Greg can give more. We're seeing very substantial inflation. It's very interesting. I mean, we're raising prices. People are raising prices to us, and it's being accepted. I mean, it's not. If we get, well, take home building. I mean, the cost of, we've got 9 home builders, and in addition to our manufactured housing thing, and then operation, which is the largest in the country. So we really do a lot of housing. The costs are just up. Steel costs, just every day, they're going up, and there hasn't yet been, because the wage stuff follows. I mean, if the UAW writes a 3-year contract, we got a 3-year contract. But if you're buying steel at General Motors or someplace, you're paying more every day. So it's an economy really. It's red hot. I mean, and we weren't expecting it. I mean, all our companies, when they thought when they were allowed to go back to work, at our various operations, we closed the furniture stores. I mentioned, they were closed for 6 weeks or so on average, and they didn't know what was going to happen when they opened. And they can't stop people from buying things, and we can't deliver them. And they say, well, that's okay, because nobody else can deliver them either, and we'll wait for 3 months or something of the sort. But the backlog grows, and then we thought it would end when the $600 payments ended, and I think, around August of last year. It just kept going, and it keeps going, and it keeps going, and it keeps going. And I get the figures every week. I call, or Bumpkin calls me, and we go over day by day what happened at 3 different stores in Chicago and Kansas City and Dallas, and it just won't stop. People have money in their pocket, and they pay the higher prices, and when carpet prices go up in a month or two, we announced a price increase for April. For our costs are going up. Supply chains all screwed up, for all kinds of people. But it's almost a buying frenzy, except certain areas you can't buy yet. You really can't buy international air travel, and so the money is being diverted from a piece of the economy into the rest, and everybody's got more cash in their pocket than, except for. Meanwhile, it's a terrible situation for a percentage of the people. This suit, I haven't worn a suit, for a year practically, and that means that the dry cleaner nurse just went out of business. I mean, and nobody's bringing in suits to get dry cleaned, and nobody's bringing in white shirts to the place where my wife goes. The small business person, if you didn't have takeout and delivery services for restaurants, you got killed. On the other hand, if you've got takeout facilities, you've done, same source sales of Dairy Queen are up a whole lot, and they adapted. But it is not a price-sensitive economy right now in the least, and I don't know exactly how when it shows up in different price indices, but there's more inflation going on than quite a bit more inflation going on than people would have anticipated just 6 months ago or thereabouts.
Yeah, and there's one very intelligent man who thinks it's dangerous, and that's just the start.
Greg, you probably are in a good position to comment.
Yeah, well, when I think you touched on it, I mean, when we look at steel prices, timber prices, any petroleum input, fundamentally there's pressure on those raw materials. I do think something you've touched on, Warren, and it goes really back to the raw materials. There's a scarcity of product right now of certain raw materials. It's impacting price and the ability to deliver the end product. But, that scarcity factor is also real out there right now as our businesses address that challenge. And it may be some of that's contributed or arisen from the storm we previously discussed in Texas. When you take down that many petrochemical plants in one state that the rest of the country is very dependent upon it, we're seeing it flow through both on price but overall in scarcity of product, which obviously go together. But there's challenges, that's for sure.